If you're like me, you've been doom scrolling all day. Maybe you want to stop and see part 2 of my March reading wrap up. So I'm going to be doing the 7 nonfiction reads for the month. I'm going to try and do it quickly, so very little maybe on the rambling and mostly just a ranking and a rating. Starting off with 3-star reads, the number 7 spot is going to go to The Smartest Guys in the Room. This is a accounting of the downfall of Enron. Spoiler alert, they were not the smartest guys in the room. My number 6 pick is going to go to the celebrity memoir, Mean Baby. When it comes to celebrity written pieces, this was actually probably a little bit more on the better side when it comes to technique. But man, does she emit some dark parts of her personality. Mean Baby is a very apt title for this. Number 5 is going to be the memoir, Geisha, A Life. And if that title seems very familiar, that's because it comes from one of the people who was the inspiration for Memoirs of a Geisha. And yes, her version and her perspective, way better than that historical fiction novel. Number 4 is another audiobook listen, and this one comes from one of those giant corporations that I have a subscription with, so that is the reason why it doesn't completely disappear from these videos. I'm just trying not to promote them. I really do like their Great Courses series, and I gave my number 4 spot to Teenage Wastelands. This is by Sherry Smith, and it's about YA dystopian fiction. I learned a lot over what she was covering from books that I've already read, books I was reading this month even, The Marrow Thieves, and books that I should be reading, like hers and others that she mentions in here. My 3rd pick of the month is going to be this memoir, Orange is the New Black, the basis for the TV show, but more importantly, a really eye-opening memoir from someone who's been within the women's federal correction system, and something you might want to pick up if you're interested in American criminal justice or prison reform. My next 2 picks are very much, I would say, like my picks on the fiction list, in that they both have the same star ranking. It's just which one am I more likely to think about rereading again. And when it comes to the number 2 spot, They Were Her Property, this is a must read for sure, but it is an extremely hard one. This is about white slave owners in the American South, and because this isn't really covered or just completely ignored within American history textbooks, it's devastating. I definitely think there's going to be parts of this book that I'll want to reference later on, but am I going to be able to stomach reading it all the way through again? Maybe not. When it comes to my number 1 pick though, I do believe that it's going to be far more easier for me to think about picking this up and rereading it again. We have the memoir In the Garden Behind the Moon. At least on my side of Book Talk, this is very popular for very good reasons. It includes so many different elements that I can see wanting to look at this for the art, learning more about the Jim Crow era, but how it was for other minorities, talking about American history that, once again, was not very well covered in books, and also talking about how to deal with loss. Extreme bonus points is that this is covering the first horrible election and all the things that are needed to do when you're feeling despair and overwhelming despair, reminding us to do calls to action, to pick up healthy habits like gardening, and to not give up. So yeah, I could definitely see myself wanting to go back to this book, and not just a few pages, but like all the way through. Did you have any nonfiction audiobooks or books this month that just blew your mind, gave you a different perspective? If so, make sure you share them in the comments below.